It's now time for Me and My Roku with host Peter Clay. Authenticate this Weather Channel.
So I told my guy Peter.
However, in the case of 17-month-old Carter, Pete, you are not.
Whew. Oh, that was a close one. Well, with that, I welcome you to another edition of Me and My Roku. I'm your host, Peter Clay. Lots to talk about today. Let's get you caught up on what's going on. If you're joining us for the first time, well, where have you been? It was on 10 years ago, and we did some classic episodes, and we're now on everything. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, you name it. If there's a Spreaker, oh, how can we forget Spreaker? Oh, and all thanks to our good friends at archive.org. We'll talk about them a little bit later on, but we couldn't do it without them. Thank you so much, archive.org. This is a me show. That's why it's called Me and My Roku. And I don't mean to be glib about that. I'm just saying I'm welcoming you in, and I'm sharing with you how I use my Rokus, actually. But that's a different issue. Just two of them, and one back up in the corner there just in case we have a problem. About a decade ago, not quite, 9 years ago, I needed a toy. I needed something, and we had just cut the cord. We had cut cable, and I needed something to do, something to play around with, something to figure out, and couldn't have had anything better than the Roku. Not much to figure out. You plug it in, and you stream, and you're there. Now, you could just be lazy and just do Netflix, Hulu, all those other things, but there's so much more that the Roku can do, and I come here every now and then, hopefully every week, and show you what's going on, what I do, and then therefore, hopefully, you get some ideas, and then maybe you want to share them with me. You can do so. You can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Lots to go, so let's get started. Okay. One thing I've done kind of a 180 on, not a complete 360 on. I've completely turned myself around on it, but I've at least turned halfway around and come to the grips that this is actually a good idea. When I first got the Roku, I couldn't get over the idea of actually having music channels on there. Why would I want to hook something to my TV to listen to music? Well, I've kind of come around a little bit on that and actually really enjoy it. Background music, if I'm doing things around the house, if we have guests over, we hook it up to the speakers and it sounds really good, actually, and it's come around. We use Pandora mostly, and the trick on that is, even though you don't have a Pandora premium concert, I find that the commercials come on less on the Roku than it would on your mobile phone. It comes like every 2 or 3 songs on your mobile phone, and maybe once or twice an hour on the Roku, so that helps a lot. And it's background, you don't even really notice it anyway. Amazon Music we use as well, and even though we don't have Prime right now, there are still music channels on there that you can use. Plus, over the years, I've gotten digital credits and all that stuff, and I have quite a music collection on there, and that's available as well. Spotify is on there, and it's more of a casting feature. There's nothing really to just kind of send to the Roku on there, and that works if you're a big Spotify head, and there's a lot of you out there. Just whatever device you're using, and it says devices available, you can just shoot it over to the Roku. And then SiriusXM, this is a big one for us. Now, we have a streaming account on there, and so we can use it for that. But also, as of this recording, there's actually a free preview of Sirius going on right now, and that would work for you. Another trick on that is if you download it on an app, and you get an automatic, 7 days or something like that. And then you can also transfer that over to the Roku if you sign up for an account. So just little tips there for listening to music on your Roku. Alrighty. Our topic for today is Authentication Channels. Yes, that's right. They look free. They say they're free when you download them. But then when you get there and you see a network, like Food Network or HGTV or Arts and Entertainment or History, and you're like, hey, I like those shows on there, and you go to the app, and then you go to watch a show or watch it live, and then it says, boom, you must log in to your provider. Now, if you get your cable company still, and you haven't completely cut the cord, no big deal, you just log in and you're fine. Not quite sure why you'd want to do that. You just want to watch your shows. A couple of reasons would be a lot of them have their entire library available to you, not only just their live programming on right now, but just everything they've all done. Couple other tricks you can do is if you subscribe to PlayStation View or YouTube TV or Hulu, they show up, but there's thousands of other providers on there as well. Sling TV, it's 50-50 on whether or not it's available on there. Now, why do I sound kind of disdainful when it comes to authentication channels? There's value in there, and especially if there's some things that you need as far as, before cutting the cord and all that stuff, it's there for you. Now, if you just need a quick fix, there's plenty of things that they give you for free, and it'll say so. And another trick is if you go deep into the library, if there's a show that you really like, let's just say Yard Crashers. I don't know, whatever. But let's just pick one. And you'll see that you need to log in for most of the shows. But if you go to the seasons, you'll look and see like the most recent episodes are locked, like the most recent seasons, like seasons 13 through 10. But then down below, like the first 5 seasons might be free for you, and could be if there's 13 episodes a season type of thing. That's enough to rat your brain for a while. So the reason that this came up is I was looking and I saw some new channels come up, and I saw that the Weather Channel was available now on Roku. Now, there's plenty of other things like Weather Nation and things like that, but thought, well, this is a name, and we all know it, and sometimes you just want to know what the weather is. And so I download the Weather Channel, says it's free, and you go in, and it's giving you the Weather Channel, but look, right there in the corner, it gives you a countdown, giving you only 10 minutes before it wants you to authenticate. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? You need to authenticate the Weather Channel. It's weather, for crying out loud. And I was about ready to go off. I'm saying, just get Weather Nation, get AccuWeather, just get any other thing but the Weather Channel. I was going to do a full boycott and all that stuff. Well, this was one of the channels that you could authenticate with your cable TV provider, even though you don't get cable TV. You're just using your cable TV as your internet provider. So I softened, but then I just realized the problem with authentication channels is, say you've got YouTube TV or PlayStation View and you log in. It seems like if you let it sit a little too long or something, you go and you just want to watch Chopped. I don't know why that's a bad example because that's on all the time anyway. You wanted to watch Baked in Vermont, okay, for some reason. And you go to it, and it wants you to re-authenticate. And it says you feel like you're always authenticating yourself for some reason. You feel like you're late for class all the time, or you got to be constantly checked in. I'm sure there's reasons that they want to do that for data reasons, but it just gets to be a little too much for me sometimes. So I'm trying to cut down on the authentication channels, but if you're cutting the cord and you need a little fix of some of your favorite channels, that is an option. Now, one more in this case, it's not quite an authentication channel, it's just kind of a special deal, and that, of course, is PBS, Public Broadcasting. They will give you most things for free, but they do it kind of reverse. They'll give you the most recent for free, but if you want to go back into the archive, then you need to be part of their passport program, which would be the minimum donation at a pledge drive, usually around $60 or more, just for a year, and then you get everything that's available on PBS and whatever your provider is on that too. Well, I thought you said there was an authentication. Well, here's the deal on that. You can log in to your local PBS. Like for here, it's Wisconsin Public Television. But if you're in Milwaukee, there's 2 channels there, and they have Milwaukee Public Television. So the rest of the state gets all of this. Milwaukee gets all that. I bumped my mic there. Sorry about that. I get excited when I'm talking about PBS. So that's an option for you. Tons of things for free, unlike if you authenticate, but know that authentication only lasts for like a week, 2 weeks, a month, who knows. It just seems like whenever I want to use it, I have to re-authenticate once again. But anyway, that's for your authentication channels. Baby! Just a quick time out here to thank our friends at archive.org. my heart gets a little aflutter, a little glow when I think of archive.org, the keeper of the Internet Archive. It's the best thing out on the Internet. They store everything that's gone on the Internet. There's the Wayback Machine, and you can look back at what websites used to look like, including RadioAffliction.com. You can get a picture of me when I had blonde hair. Kind of scary, but kind of cool in a way, too. It's all there at archive.org. Old movies, podcasts, music concerts, books, anything you can think of. The audiobooks, the LibriVox is available on archive.org. It's all there for you. All we ask is that you go check that out, and if you would consider making a donation to archive.org and keep that running, because it keeps us running, and they've never asked anything out of us, and we really appreciate that. Couldn't have done it without them. So please, check out today, archive.org. Woo-hoo! Well, how about some free TV picks? You've cut the cord. You need something to watch. You don't want to authenticate. You don't want to do anything. You just want to click and watch something and all that stuff. Hey, a handy tool that I just found this week to help find some stuff for free. And if I was kind of hesitating on cutting Amazon Prime a while back because I was afraid some of the shows that we were watching weren't available, and found a handy little tool. Have you heard of this company called Apple? It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. What, Apple on a Roku show? Yeah. Yeah. It helped me with my Roku finding. The new Apple TV app. They kind of had an announcement about a month or two back, and everyone kind of scoffed and, whatever. You know, because we all know that Apple TV Plus is coming later in the fall, or you already have it by now by the time you hear this. But anyway, I was looking at some channels and for some shows to watch, and it recommended some shows that I had on Amazon Prime, and I went to click on it, and it showed me some other channels that were available to watch these shows on, like Sapphire and Steel, or Bones, and The Saint, The Avengers, not the movie The Avengers, the original Patrick Macnee, Diana Rigg series from the 60s. All available on Tubi. Yes, there was an option, and I've heard of Tubi. Maybe I've talked about it before. Little different than Pluto TV. It doesn't have a grid or anything. It's more like Netflix. There's so much there, it's so hard to find anything that the Apple TV app actually helped, because I could type in a show and see what was available then, and it could take me right to it then, and then from there, I can move it over to the Roku then by signing in to the Tubi app then. So lots of things on Tubi. Now, here's the thing. We were watching The $6 Million Man on Tubi. Again, the commercials kind of pop up at times you're not expecting it, not during a natural break. But at least with Tubi, it's very polite, and it says, "Oh, just letting you know, in 10 seconds, there's going to be a commercial break." So you can prepare, get ready for that bathroom run or whatever you're doing, and watch your commercial and then move on with life. So lots of movies, lots of shows, commercial breaks, but not bad, and at least warning you so, and then letting you know how long the break is. Tubi, Tubi, and lots of TV shows, lots of movies. The movies are kind of but the TV shows, if you're a nostalgic TV fan, The Incredible Hulk with Bill Bixby, the first 2 seasons are available on there. So be sure to check out Tubi TV. It's on your app, available everywhere. Woohoo! Couple more picks for you here. Last week I mentioned the app Stirr, Stirr, kind of a Pluto TV ripoff, alternative. Sorry, a grid-like free service, commercials. Now Stirr was trying to kind of entice you with kind of a local flavor, but only 20 or so markets throughout the country. And the closest one to me was like 2 hours away, but close enough. This week, I discovered Xumo. 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 I'm sure that's how it's pronounced. Another grid-based, on-demand stuff as well, too. Lots of channels. Check it out. I was thinking about deleting it, but then I found it had some music concerts. It had This Old House. It had a couple of things that are worth kind of, okay, I'll hold on to it for another week. You're not married to any of these things, just remember. You can let go at any time. That includes subscription channels too, but we'll talk about that at another time. So Zumo, it's worth checking out. Maybe you'll find something there you like. I found a couple of things that made me hold on to it for a little while. Another one here. Here's Morningstar. How are you about investing? Would you like to know more about that? This one's a little more in-depth than, say, maybe Motley Fool or CNBC or along those lines. They don't seem to be tied to anything. CNBC always seems like they're advertising a certain, if they're talking about a stock, they're advertising for that company or something. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Morningstar, a little slower, a little more information there, but plenty of information. Information's good. I will be 100% honest with you here. When I'm listening to Roku channels, when I'm watching Roku channels, I more like to deep dive into something. I like to put something on and just watch it. I'm not big into having 30-second to 2-minute to 5-minute videos. I kind of like to set it and forget it. And another thing about Morningstar is if they put out 5 or so videos a week or something like that, at the end of the week, they'll put those in as part of a podcast. And that's how I traditionally drain this stuff in. However, if there's something that I missed, or if they mentioned something and I missed the stock symbol or something, that watching back the video, they have all that information on the screen for you. And again, you're not probably podcast I'm probably listening to at 1.5 times speed or something like that. So this will be a little slower, a little more in depth. And you can also deep dive into a couple of things for you. So check that out, Morningstar. If you're an investor, if you want to invest or learn how to invest, they give you some ideas. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to. Seek financial advice if you need to make a deal or something like that. So don't jump. So 2 picks for this week. Zumo, another grid-like, on-demand, commercial, everywhere, but that's okay type of thing. And Morningstar, learn about investing, maybe for your retirement, maybe for a nest egg, maybe for something else. Check it out. Okay, quick recap on something I mentioned on the last show. I recommended the America's Test Kitchen app and talked about the divorce from their original host and that he had a show of his own now, and I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not available on Roku. Milk Street TV is available on PBS Living or on his own website, 177milkstreet.com. But PBS Living is a new app that's only available on either Apple TV or what's that other one? Amazon. Yes, $2.99 a month, but you get 7 days free. And if you were interested and wanted to watch Milk Street, but America's Test Kitchen has its own Roku app. Another couple quick things here before I let you go. Just some tips and tricks that I do on a daily basis for my Roku, and that is do a system update. That way, if there's maybe an app updated or something like that, just kind of refreshes the system and you get the most up-to-date apps that are available out there. And then if you're like me, and because this is me and my Roku, if you're like me and leave your Roku plugged in all the time, there's obviously no power off button on the Rokus. So once a week, hit the system restart then, and that refreshes the whole system. Maybe there's an update for the Roku and not just the app, so it'll update everything. So once a day, system update. Once a week, system restart. And then if you happen to take off for the weekend, I don't know, say go up to Minnesota or something like that, if you feel inclined to do so, then please unplug, and then when you come back, replug it in, and it'll be all fresh so that you can enjoy your Roku as I enjoy me and my Roku. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight, this time, whenever you're listening. 10 years from now, who knows? Lots of things going on. But thank you to archive.org for their support. Check them out because they're beautiful and wonderful, and we love them. Subscribe to the Me and My Roku podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, and Spotify. Lots of choices there. So if you're just stumbling upon us, spread the word and tell them to subscribe anywhere of those. iHeartRadio, we're waiting on you guys. You're the last ones holding out. Follow me on Twitter at Radio Affliction. And questions, comments, anything along those lines, if you have recommendations, you can email me at meandmyrokupodcast@gmail.com. Hope you enjoyed the program, and send the love, spread it out everywhere, and let people know we're at 95 subscribers right now. Let's get over 100, and then we can go from there. So hope you enjoy you and your Roku as much as I love me and my Roku. I'll check in with you real soon.